Gotcha, yep. Okay, yep. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Silver Cross Field in downtown Joliet, and welcome to the 2012 State Baseball Championships Class 4A as Oak Park River Forest takes on Grant High School. It's good to have you aboard on this glorious Friday afternoon. I'm Scott Slocum along with Mark Lindo. And Mark, this is a good one, a team that has a rich history of baseball against a team that has no history of baseball at all.
Oak Park, they've been here numerous times, a couple state titles, legendary Jack Kaiser, a name well known throughout the state of Illinois in baseball annals. Grant, their first time ever. We got a battle of dogs today, the Bulldogs of Grant and the Huskies from Oak Park River Forest.
Yeah, good old dog fight, no doubt about that. Let's give you the lineups first of all for Oak Park River Forest. They'll be the visitors on the scoreboard today. Zach Weigel will lead off and play in center field. Jack Picciotti will bat second, and he's the catcher. Nick Kowalczyk will bat third. He's the first baseman. Alex Rice, the right fielder, will bat cleanup. Mike Brennan is the third baseman. He bats fifth. Matt McCormick is in left, and he'll bat sixth. Batting seventh is the designated hitter, Sam Beard. Joe McCune is pitching and batting eighth, and Jack Belcaster is the second baseman, and he bats ninth. As far as the pitcher is concerned today, we have an ace going for Fox Lake Grant High School. Young man on the mound, Helmick, is 11-1 with an 0.96 ERA. And, Coach, he can throw the ball pretty hard. Just a great athlete all the way around.
Well, he's 6'2", 190, and a well-built, big, strong, strapping young man. 73 innings pitched. He's struck out 73. So one an inning, that tells you the kind of power pitcher he is. A great athlete on the hill, an all-stater in basketball. Going to walk on, preferably at SIU. So he will be a Missouri Valley type player, mid-Division I. And here we go for first semifinal, number one of 4A.
And the first pitch hits Zach Weigel, and just like that, Oak Park River Forest has the leadoff man aboard. My question after the first pitch, Mark, was going to be, do you think Fox Lake is nervous? They've never been here before. This is a young team. They start just one senior.
Yeah, I think they probably are. You know, they've gone through the tournament trail like everybody else. They've had some key ball games. They had the close win early on against Cary Grove in the regional final. But since then, they've kind of cruised. The easy road against Crystal Lake South, South Elgin, the one-run nail-biter. But they're having trouble getting the first out of the first inning.
There's a curveball stroked right over the head of the shortstop, Picciotti. A single following the hit batsman for Weigel. And just like that, Oak Park River Forest with two aboard and nobody out, and the table is set for big Nick Kowalczyk, the big right-handed hitting first baseman.
Well, Picciotti did a nice job taking that ball and just hitting it right over the shortstop, Kusiak, as he went with that pitch on the outer edge, kept his hands inside the ball, drove the barrel right through the hitting zone.
There's a fastball in there for a strike. Helmick now doesn't throw it particularly hard, about 80, 81, 82.
Well, he has to have great movement. He has to have location. If he can get some two-seam balls to get down and away from right-hander hitters, he'll get some ground ball outs.
Check swing foul back to the screen. So quickly, Kowalczyk is behind in the count here, 2 strikes.
Helmick did indeed win their regional semifinal, their sectional semifinal, and their super sectional, so he is tournament battle tested.
Coming back, though, on just a handful of days' rest. What will he have for us today? 2-strike pitch. This one is hit. One hopper to the shortstop. Bobbled over to first in time there. No, not in time. Safe. Throw took a little bit longer to get there than I thought it was going to, and that is going to be an error on the shortstop, Eddie Kusiak.
Well, Kusiak, you cannot get, Scott, a better ground ball tailor-made. Now, this ball was squared up, no doubt about it, but one hopper, he tried to backhand it. That was the first mistake. The second mistake, I think he still had time for the short out, force out at second. Then he took the ball across the diamond, and all of a sudden, Grant is in jail and in jeopardy.
And here's the sophomore slugger, Alex Rice. He takes strike one over the outside corner. Rice leads this team with 3 home runs, batting just .292, but has 31 knocked in. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the very top of the first inning. Grant in trouble. Curveball hit high in the air toward right center field, and this ball will drop. 1 run is in, and that's it. Everyone thought, including us up here in the booth, that someone was going to catch that ball, but Ring and center kind of slowed down. I think he thought Wilhelm was going to catch it, but neither really went after it.
Well, you have right now the makings of a big inning for Oak Park, and you mentioned it, maybe some first inning jitters in the state tournament, because we quickly recapped this inning. A hit batsman, that took one pitch. Then a solid base hit, I think that was 2 pitches. An E6 on a tailor-made double play ball, it should have been 6-4-3, and then a lack of communication between Ring and Wilhelm, and the inning's alive.
And this is a smart move here for Grant. Timeout called is everything that could go wrong for Grant here. The Bulldogs has gone wrong up to this point. Now back to that fly ball. That to me, we're sitting here, we have a great view. It looked like Ring could have had it easily, but it looked like he said, Wilhelm, go ahead and take it, but Wilhelm didn't go after it.
Well, we know that baseball rules tell us center fielder has full command. He is the quarterback of the outfield. Ring has a pretty good angle on the ball, but he's probably waiting for his right fielder to get to the baseball, Wilhelm. And that ball basically just split the distance between the two, but neither of them went after that aggressively. It was like they were waiting for the other guy to make the play. And you mentioned that's a good visit to the mound by Dave Beam, a 2002 graduate of Grant. The first winning season that Beam's had, he has his team that can take home a trophy regardless. Right now, they need to stay out of a big inning.
Here's Mike Brennan. He takes a pitch down low for ball 1. Brennan hitting .280 with 7 doubles on the year. Picchiotti is at third base. Kowalczak is at second, and Rice is at first. There's a strike over the outside corner.
Obviously, you're looking for a double play ball if you are Grant. If you're going to look for a double play ball, the middle infield, it's very strange to me that Jared Helmick is going to wind up and give those base runners that extra distance. You think you'd want to hold them as close as you possibly can to set up double play opportunities all over.
Another good fastball there on the outside corner. Helmick desperately needs a strikeout. He's ahead in the count, 1-2. It's the sign and the delivery. Tried to overthrow that pitch. Missed outside, 2-2.
See, and he had the 1-2 advantage. He went to the outer edge and missed by a little bit too much. 2-2 advantage back to Brennan right now. I think his mentality is he has to sit dead red on a fastball.
Swing and a miss. Chased a fastball upstairs at 82 miles an hour. Wonderful pitch by Jared Helmick. Again, averaging a strikeout an inning. This is his 74th inning, has 74 Ks.
See, now the situation here is he needed that strikeout. As you mentioned, he got it. When you are a power pitcher, you can get yourself out of jail with strikeouts.
Matt McCormick will hit 28 knocked in. Infield still in at the corners. Ball gets by the catcher. Another run is going to score. That will be a passed ball. It was a curveball that the catcher, Lucas, really didn't go after.
Well, you know, from up here, you might surmise that he got crossed up because that was flat out right down the middle, a curveball right down the middle. And instead, Lucas just doesn't seem to follow the flight of the ball. It only trickled away, 10, 12 feet, but a good read by Picchiotti, and he scores easily.
Double play is no longer in order as we have runners at second and third. Still only 1 out. Oak Park up 2-0. Still, if Helmick can get out of it with no more damage, he would have done a wonderful job. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
See, and that was a two-seam fastball. We'll see Helmick working the right side of the pitching rubber. Usually you want right-handers to work the third base side to get a little bit more arm angle, but when you use the first base side, you get some more downward movement on your two-seam.
A shot right up the middle. Here comes a center fielder. A diving catch made by Ring. And the runner from third will not tag as he thought maybe the ball was going to be in front of Ring, but still possibly you could have seen Kowalczak tag up at third base and try to score because Ring was on the ground.
Well, Kowalczak, that is a base running mistake that he would like to have back. We need to report that as it is, because as soon as this ball is laced to center field, if it's down, you can crawl home. If it's caught like it was, if you're already tagged up, you should be able to score on a ball that the center fielder Ring laid out to make a catch on. That one could come back to cost Oak Park River Forest a run here in the first.
You don't want to get carried away here at the top of the first inning, Mark Lindo, but this is a huge at bat. If Beard can drive the ball somewhere out of the infield, Oak Park could be well on their way. If not, Grant's still in the game. And this one's popped up, foul territory, over toward the first base dugout. The catcher, an easy play for Simeon Lucas, and that's it. All in all, what a job by Helmick.
No doubt about it. Bases loaded, and they get 2 runs only. Then he gets the last 3 players in a row. Strikeout, line drive, a base running mistake, pop out, and you're right. The damage could have been much more brutal.
Two runs on the board for Oak Park River Forest to the top of the first. Now it's Grant's turn. Here are the starters for the Bulldogs from Grant High School from Fox Lake. Jake Ring is the leadoff hitter. He, of course, is your center fielder. Made that nice diving catch just moments ago. The DH, Tino Torres, will bat number 2, just a sophomore. Jared Helmick, the pitcher, will bat third. 40 hits on the year for that young man. Brent Spoor, a .441 hitter, will bat cleanup. Batting fifth is the catcher, Simeon Lucas. Tyler Gorski, the third baseman, will bat 6th. Batting 7th is Jacob Adams, the second baseman, with 16 RBIs on the year. Freshman Eddie Kuziak will make his varsity debut from what we're told today. More on that in a moment. He'll bat 8th, and batting 9th is Ryan Noda. Kind of misleading. Noda, .353 hitter with 18 RBIs and 30 hits, batting 9. So looks like Coach Beam has a second leadoff hitter there at the bottom of the order.
That's the way to do it, and they'll face the slants of Joe McEwen, 5'11", 175-pound senior. He's 6-2 with a 1.43 earned run average, 47 strikeouts in 44 innings pitched, walked just 16. He's a good one, getting the ball to lead the semifinal ball game today. The winner goes to the finals tomorrow.
McCune's first pitch at 86 miles an hour. He brought that, but he misses. And McCune, more known for his golf exploits than pitching. The number 3 pitcher officially in the rotation. Finished 3rd in the state golf tournament this past year for his team.
Yeah, he'll play golf at Carthage in the CCIW next year up in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
There's a shot to left field. The left fielder comes in. Then McCormick drifts over toward the line, and he's got it quickly 1 away.
Kind of ironic. McCune will be going to Carthage, and Fox Lake Grant, just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Not too far away at all.
Yeah, you can cross the state line and be in Kenosha County and right on Lake Michigan. What a beautiful setting that campus is.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work. All those CCIW schools, the Wesleyans, the North Centrals, the Augustana's, just gorgeous campuses. Here now is Tino Torres. He takes a pitch in there for strike 1. Now, the big story here today with Grant is their second leading hitter and their most powerful hitter, Jordan Villarreal, is not playing in this game. Well, at least now he's in uniform as this pitch misses inside.
Injury on Monday?
Yeah, apparently broke his jaw, played Monday with the broken jaw, went 2 for 4, but not starting here today. That's why the shortstop, Eddie Kuziak, is making his debut. There's a chopper over the mound. That's trouble for Oak Park. Diving effort made by Belcaster, but he won't be able to make the throw. That's a base hit for Tino Torres.
And to take that one step further, Villarreal, 5'8", 160 out of this ball game, had 32 RBIs, 44 hits, and a .423 average. So that's a big hole, what would have been right in the middle of Grant's lineup.
Yeah, and marked 3 home runs, which is tops on the team. Yep. 3 of their 8 as a team. Here's Jared Helmick now, the pitcher. Good hitter as well. He takes a fastball outside. Helmick hitting .374 with 40 hits on the season. As you can tell, just an athletic kid all the way around. Big, strong kid. Quick throw over to first, and Torres back in.
Chris Ledbetter said that McCune, quote, has a lights-out fastball. Now, I don't know how overpowering, how electric that thing is, but I do know it has really good movement.
There's a shot to short, fielded cleanly. Go to second for 1. Over to first, and he is out. They appeal to the home plate umpire, and the home plate umpire said, yep, he tagged him. Nice job over there by Nick Kowalczyk.
Good turn, good feed by the shortstop. Shinsako, Belcaster would have liked a better throw to first. Coming off the base was Kowalczyk, as you mentioned, and good umpiring right there, in all honesty, Scott, because Kevin Lefevre wasn't sure of the tag. He wants to get it right. You see him immediately looking for help from Pete McGinnis, who had a better angle, and they ring him up 6-4-3 and out.
After 1, Oak Park in control, 2-0 over Grant. Two nothing to score. There you look at Grant. Group of guys, well, quite frankly, happy to be here. Third year for Dave Beam, the head coach. In 2010, they went 12-17. Last year, 10-21. This year, out of nowhere after struggling early, 25-11. Beam's record in 3 years, 47-49-1. But give the coach a lot of credit for getting his kids here to Joliet.
Hey, a graduate of Grant comes home and does a great job bringing this program along. And yeah, last year they lost the very first game of the tournament. They were in the play-in game and couldn't get out of that. So in 1 year to lose the first game of the regional, I think that the golf clubs are probably out, the fishing poles were probably baited, but instead they're going to take home medallion tomorrow one way or the other.
And a good-sized trophy. Leading things off is Joe McCune, the pitcher. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Joe. Of course, got out of that last inning with a 6-4-3 double play. Nice job, Shinsako to Belcaster. Walzak, nice leaping play over at first base. There's a ball fouled out of play.
Now, you were asking about McCune's at-bat because we don't see too much on his offensive stats. In their comeback against New Trier, Coach Ledbetter said was amazing. We had lost to the same pitcher 10-0 in 5 innings. We got some momentum. We got our demeanor changed. And McCune led off the 7th inning batting because of some changes in defense and such. It was his first base hit of the year that led off the bottom of the 7th that led to their winning rally against New Trier. So how improbable is that? That was an 8-7 victory that they had trailed throughout. And McCune's only hit of the year was to lead off the 7th inning of that game.
Making a bid for number 2, but it's just foul out of the reach of the right fielder Eric Wilhelm. His only hit of the season.
Yeah, they trailed that game 7-1 before winning it 8-7 in the sectional semifinal. A 5-run 6th. Then they won it in the 7th with that young man getting his first and only base hit of the season. The improbable, it took place.
And here they are in Joliet. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Second strikeout for Jared Helmick. It's interesting. His ball, Mark Lindo, must have a bunch of movement on it because he throws low 80s. And not that low 80s is anything to sniff at, but for a strikeout an inning against some of the good competition they've played, he must really place it well and it must move.
Well, absolutely. Now we'll talk about his repertoire of pitches after he throws high and inside there on number 1, but he'll throw a 4-seam fastball. A 4-seam fastball, for people listening and watching, is basically a straight pitch, and you try to locate it in, out, up, down. A 2-seam fastball, you kind of turn it over. It runs a lot more. It will usually tail away from a right-handed hitter. Obviously, he has a breaking ball, which is in every arsenal of a high school pitcher, and a pretty good straight change, which we have not seen too much of that as of yet.
Jack Belcaster, even in the count 1-1. Here's a shot right to the third baseman. A diving effort by Tyler Gorski. There's a top 10 play of the weekend right there, and we're just underway.
Yeah, a little bit of leather thrown right there as Gorski just laid out on a ball that was hit pretty hard to his right. He backhanded a line drive. That was definitely some leather flash right there by the good-looking third baseman.
Back up to the top of the order we go. Here's Zach Weigel, the center fielder, hit by the very first pitch of the first inning. Takes another pitch, this one inside for ball 1. Weigel then scored the first run of the game, 2-0. Oak Park on top. Could have been much worse. They had the bases loaded, nobody out, only got 2. There's ball 2 outside. Oh, nope, check that strike over the outside corner.
Ring way over in right center field for Grant. An incredible amount of room in left center field, and then down the left field line. Even you and I could get a triple down the left field line.
Squared a bunt, and he bunted right through it. For third baseman, Gorski was back. Pretty good idea there by Weigel, who runs really, really well. I think you saw him there turn around to the home plate umpire and say, hey, well, that have been a strike anyway. And home plate umpire Pete McGinnis said, I think it would have been a little low.
Well, Weigel had a tough year, Scott, because he only hit .433. Last year he hit over 500. So that's kind of hard to duplicate. He had a 33-game hitting streak as part of his career. One of the best high school hitters that you'll find in the state of Illinois. He'll be taking his baseball abilities to Seton Hall next year.
Haven't heard much about the Seton Hall program. Is it a good one?
Very solid. Obviously they're a great conference there, and I don't think they're a power in that conference. Very fine academic school as well.
It's a good ride, no doubt about that. And that pitch just misses. So it's 3-2 now, and What you don't want to do here with 2 outs if you're Helmick is to walk Weigel, who's a threat to steal.
He got 41 RBIs and 40 runs scored.
Out of the leadoff spot. Chopper to second. Jacob Adams has it. On to Spoor. And if Helmick is walking off the field right now going, you know what, that's more like it. And that's what his fans are saying, his mom and dad and his teammates. Much better inning there for Grant as they have seemed to settled in, but they still trailed 2-0 after an inning and a half. Fries there, he got a hot dog. Those are the Grant fans enjoying the food and fare here at Silver Cross Field. Not necessarily the scores. They're down 2-0, but we're only in the bottom of the second.
Keep your eyes on the fries because I haven't had lunch, dinner, or breakfast yet, so I don't know. I got one granola bar in my system. That's it.
Joe McCune enters his second inning of work for Oak Park River Forest. He retired the side in order because of a double play. Did give up a hit to Tino Torres, facing Brent Spoor, Simeon Lucas, and Tyler Gorski. And McCune is quickly ahead here, 2 strikes.
Threw the hammer down on that curveball, got it right over the top, kept his fingers on top of the baseball. All 4 seams working, 12-6, hammer straight down.
And tried to put a little extra mustard, speaking of food, on that fastball and missed way outside.
McEwen's father has some Husky heritage. He pitched in the 1981 state tournament. Actually threw a no-hitter for Jack Kaiser's team down in Springfield, Lamphere Park.
There's Shinsako fielding cleanly over to Kowalczak. And there's another ground ball in the infield. That's 2 in a row. That'll bring up Simeon Lucas, the catcher.
Yeah, the history of the state tournament. We figured out it started at Minot Field in Peoria. You probably remember that.
Yeah.
Then moved to Springfield, which was then the AAA team of the Springfield Cardinals, the Cardinals AAA team. Then they moved to Kane County. Now we have 2 venues, which I think is serving the 4-class system very well.
It was a great idea by the IHSA to split it off and do 2 different sites. It makes a lot of sense. If you look here, this 3A and 4A field usually loaded with Northern Illinois teams. Makes sense. Bigger crowds. The 3A games earlier today paid $2,400. That's very good. And with these 2 teams drawing relatively well, Grant much better than Oak Park, Minooka is going to pack this place in the second game. It's all about location. People will come if it's not far. There's a curveball hung, hit in the air to right field. This is going to make it over the head of the right fielder, Alex Rice, who came in on it first. This will be extra bases for Lucas. He'll hold up at second with a 1-out double. Simeon Lucas.
Lucas got a ball on the inner part, and he just drove it over Alex Rice's head. Alex Rice looked adrift at the beginning of this play. Don't know if he caught it. And watch his foot get down. His hands go back. He gets a low breaking ball, I believe it was. He just dropped the barrel of the bat, drove it over. Once you see numbers, you know you're going extra bases. Play was in front of him. Easy stand-up double for Simeon Lucas. And Fox Lake Grant in business, trying to put a little bit of dent in the scoreboard.
Not that Rice would have been able to get to that, but again, late start for him. We saw the same thing with the Grant kids back in the first inning. This is tough to play in the stadium. I mean, this is a big-time environment, much different than these kids have played in, maybe giving the outfielders a little trouble.
Well, when you're an outfielder, you have to get off the sound of the ball. And the other thing you need to do, we've talked about it throughout the tournament, is you cannot drift to the baseball. You have to sprint to a spot where you know the ball is going to go to, get yourself in position. And a good outfielder will do that on a consistent basis.
Here's Gorski now, and he falls behind 0-2. 85-mile-an-hour fastball, and then McHugh comes back and pulls the string at 75 with an off-speed pitch.
Hitting, all about timing. Pitching, all about disrupting that timing of a hitter. When you can change speeds like that, change speeds and change the hitter's eyes location-wise, you've done a good job. And anytime you're hit 0-2, now that plate of 17 inches, it becomes 18, 19 inches to the hitter, and the pitcher can now be off either edge and use it not as a waste, but as a setup.
Gorski, a 307 hitter with 16 knocked in. Trying to cut this lead in half. A base hit would do it. Oak Park scored 2 in the top of the first inning. There was an error, pass ball, a poorly played ball in the outfield, but only 2 runs scored for Oak Park. Bases loaded, nobody out. Grant's trying to nip their way back into this one. Here comes a 1-2. That sails outside, 2-2. Well, you mentioned Minot Field. You're right. Grew up watching one of my alma mater play there. Roger Fegley, remember he pitched for East Peoria and went on to Bradley to be a great All-American basketball player. That's my first memory of the state tournament. There's Gorski lining the ball to right. Rice coming on. He will make the catch. Runner at second base. Hold that runner out there, by the way, is a pinch runner, Jake Johnson. Or check that. That's not Jake Johnson. That is Ryan Mason.
And give credit where credit is due. Alex Rice, he got off the sound of that bat in a millisecond. He was right there in stride to catch that ball. And you're right, Fegley, he could pitch. His son was a good basketball player. My first recollection of Roger Fegley, I saw Roger Fegley in the old field house at Bradley against Larry Bird, Indiana State. And that was quite a thrill in front of 7,300 in the airplane hangar at the old Bradley field house, which is no longer there.
Robertson Memorial Fieldhouse has been replaced. But, yeah, it's funny. That was I think the only baseball trophy East Peoria ever won. And there was a bunch of rainouts, so we got to pitch almost every game.
That's the way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Get the king on the hill.
Jacob Adams up at the plate, snap throw down to second base, and the pinch runner Mason just got in underneath the tag of the second baseman Belcaster. It's a 2-ball count now on Adams. He's the second baseman. Hitting from the right side. McCune ready. The pitch is outside, 3-0.
Now Picchiotti looks into the dugout on every pitch for the pitch selection to be sent in from the bench to him. And I asked Coach Ledbetter, I said, do you let one of your assistants call the pitch? And he said, nope, that's all on me.
Ground ball to Shinsako. He'll wait back, plenty of time. And that's it. Another good inning for McCune. He's given up a hit in each of the first 2 innings, but no one has made it past second base. After 2, Oak Park leads Grant 2-0. Headed to the third inning, Oak Park River Forest on top of Grant. Boy, the theme of the day, food. Look at the pizza. They make their own pizza here at Silver Cross Field. Brand new product this year. And grandson and grandma, and it looks like son, are all enjoying it.
3 generations now. Fox Lake Grant, they like their fries. Oak Park, they're going pizza. We got it all.
I'm with Oak Park. I'm a pizza guy myself. There's Picchiotti now, .458 hitter. He singled, scored on the pass ball in the first inning. Left-handed hitting catcher who has a very bright future. Reaches out and lifts this one into shallow left. That's going to fall. Second consecutive hit for Picchiotti. This one just in front of the left fielder Ryan Noda, and his .458 batting average up over .460 now.
Well, you know what? He is a 4-year player at catcher for Oak Park River Forest. Now, if you're talking about some Class A schools with not as many people, that happens. But 3,150 enrollment at Oak Park River Forest, and for you to play varsity baseball at this level for 4 years, that is a special, special accomplishment for that young man.
He'll play next year at Purdue. And to remind you of a young man by the name of Sam Travis, who went to Providence. We saw here last year. They lost to Lions in the championship game. There's a pitch that's yanked down the left field line, but that is foul by about 8 feet. Travis, all he did was make second team All Big Ten. It was a Big Ten Freshman of the Year down in Bloomington at Indiana.
Yeah, saw him on Big Ten Network, and of course you can go back to Purdue. They had a great year in the Big Ten, so
they did.
A little bit of power changes that way. Big Ten baseball up, if you will. NCAA tournament well underway at the college level.
Nick Kowalczyk in there. 1 strike against him. Reached on an error. It was a ball that should have been a double play, but bobbled by the shortstop, and there's a shot right through the hole right side between Adams and Spoor. So back-to-back hits here to start the third, and Jared Helmick in trouble again. Trouble in the first, gave up 2, a 1-2-3 second, and here back-to-back hits from Picchiotti and Kowalczyk, and here's Alex Rice, the power-hitting sophomore.
Kowalczyk, what a great ability to handle the bat. The sectional semi-win, he had the walk-off single to cap that 7th inning comeback. In the super sectional, he had an RBI. With that time, he went right behind the runner, going inside out on that pitch on the inner part, just fought it off to right field. And you're right. Right now, Oak Park with a chance to open up an inning once again.
Rice hits from the right side. 3 home runs, 31 knocked in. One of 2 sophomores in this lineup. Fastball misses outside, 2-0. The other is Sam Beard, the designated hitter. Grant, meanwhile, has just 1 senior in the starting lineup. 3 sophomores, a freshman, and the rest are juniors. There's a foul right back at us.
Yep.
Probably heard that in the background. I mean, think about that for Grant. That might be the youngest team ever in the 4A semifinals.
Yeah, so they're already going to be talked about next year. As soon as the last pitch is thrown tomorrow afternoon, the 2012 season ends. Grant will be looking to repeat their state tournament appearance in 2013.
And even Villarreal, who's not in the lineup today because of that broken jaw, he's only a junior.
So they got some firepower coming back all over the diamond.
If they can find some pitching. Because their ace is a senior.
Kind of the name of the game, though,
yeah, it is.
Pitching, no doubt about that. Hey, what? Look at the specimen that this young man is, Rice. You talked about him being a sophomore. You know, he goes about, 200, 210 pounds, big young man, really throws his hands.
This pitch is going to be out of play. Third baseman Gorski will give it a look and misses by about a couple of feet. He could have actually gotten over there. There's you see the railing right there just in front of the tarp. If he would have ran around that and over, he could have caught it. But, again, that's local knowledge here, and Gorski had no way of knowing and probably figuring that out on the fly that he could have done that.
Oak Park was not in the top 25 to finish the season. Another solid year, of course, but they won 3 one-run games along the tournament trail to get here to Joliet.
There go the runners on a hit and run. Good job by Rice just to waste that pitch back to the screen. Well done by the sophomore. Well, you talk about those standings. Only one of the teams here today in 3A and 4A was in the top 25 at the end of the year.
Yeah, that just shows you the joy, the ecstasy of single elimination baseball. Unless you're in the top 25, you say, we beat that team 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, but it doesn't happen that way all the time.
Rice hits a rope right at ring, though. Going back, Jake makes the catch. He's going to throw on to third to try to get the runner. He'll dive in safely there. Picchiotti. The ball was hit hard by Alex Rice, but Ring went back a couple of steps and made an over-the-shoulder catch. There's one away. And that only team was a 3A team, LaSalle Peru.
Yeah, Cavaliers in the title game tomorrow. Nice win today. Coach Booker coaching his last game tomorrow night. It'll be a state championship game as the school board replaced him after many good things that he's done and very solid educator for 24 years. Hey, how about that good base running? That was a solid hit by Rice, a solid catch by Ring, and then just fundamental base running by Picchiotti, who was off the base, read the flight of the ball, went back, tagged up, and knew he could outrun Ring's throw.
And that was all him. I mean, there's no chance at all that third base coach could tell him to do that. He may have screamed it out, but that's just baseball knowledge. That's why that kid is a 4-year starter and going to the Big Ten.
Well, you always need to know where the baseball's at, see the ball, find the ball when it's, no matter where it's hit.
Mike Brennan will swing the first pitch and foul it back to the catcher, Simeon Lucas, for strike one. So here we go again with Jared Helmick. Getting roughed up a little bit, but still, he's a double play away from getting out of the inning.
Brennan with 18 RBIs. His goal right now is to get the ball out of the infield. He wants to keep it off the ground with a middle infield at double play depth.
And he will do just that. Line drive right field. A diving grab by Eric Wilhelm. That will score a run. Picchiotti is going to tag and score. It's 3-0 as Grant continues to play outstanding defense after that first inning.
Well, you know what we have for the second straight play is we have 3 fundamentals. There's a fundamental piece of hitting. He goes right with that, drops the barrel, got it out of the infield. Then we have a superlative catch by Wilhelm in right field. There's the second part of solid baseball. And then you see Picchiotti, who had gone to third because of fundamentals. He did indeed tag up on that fly ball, so he scored.
There goes the runner. Would have been an easy stolen base as Helmick wasn't paying any attention at all to Kowalczak over at first, but then McCormick steps up on the first pitch, ropes it through the left side. So the third hit of the inning, and all 5 hitters have hit the ball on the nose here in the third for Oak Park River Forest.
Yeah, they're getting some good passes at baseball. It's a funny game, this game of baseball, because Oak Park got some really good passes in inning number 1. Inning number 2, not so much. And they're seeing the ball really well again here in this inning.
Beard takes the curveball of beauty in there for strike 1, and time is called as Lucas wants to go out and talk to a senior right-hander. 3-0 to score. The Huskies on top.
Another good-looking sophomore, well-built, runs well. Just 5 RBIs on the season for Beard. Got a chance to pick up a 2-out run now. 2-out runs ever so important.
Fastball misses. Yeah, base hit to the outfield. Should score. Kowalczak, he runs very well for a big guy. Beard ready. And so is Helmick finally. That was a long look in. Curveball, fisted foul. Not a lot of people sitting behind home plate, so it's a little misleading. Most of the people are up in the shaded area, up the first base line, and behind where you can see our camera view end. So it looks a little sparse. There's a little bit better view down the right field side. Left field side even more inhabited by the people from Grant. They turned out in big numbers today.
Yes, they did. Making a weekend of it.
Here's the 1-2, swung on and missed. Beard misses it, and that is strikeout number 3 for Helmick. But Oak Park adds another one to the board. After 2.5, they lead 3-0. This is high school baseball from Joliet on the IHSA network. Now those guys are watching with much interest, though they have one more game to make it to play the winner of this game. Those are the Minooka Indians, and the young man with the headphones on right there is Josh Jimenez, who I believe will start next game. He's the ace for Minooka through Monday. So we get to see the Indians, and there at the bottom of the screen scratching his chin is Joey Carnaggio, who had a game-winning hit here in the state tournament. They've had a remarkable run. They'll be here next against defending champion Lions. That's going to be a good one.
It certainly will. Minooka had, some ups and downs this season. They caught fire at the right time. Plainfield North won that league. But Minooka, they have enough firepower to win 2 straight games here today. No doubt about that.
Got enough pitching, too.
Yes, they
They're
do.
Deep. Kuziak, the freshman, from what we understand, this is his first varsity at bat. And he'll remember it because he strikes out facing a very good Joe McCune pitcher on the mound.
Just a little bit overmatched on that particular at-bat. As McCune went to the outer edge. McCune's been battling a little bit of arm tenderness in the tournament. But, you start to get the juices flowing, and you start to get the adrenaline going, and you forget about that arm. No doubt about that. You just remember that you want to get your team to tomorrow.
Noda swings at the first pitch, gets away from Belcaster, and Noda's going to reach on an air. I was just about ready to say he's got to be one of the best number 9 hitters in the state with 30 hits and a .353 batting average and 18 knocked in, and he goes after it aggressively.
Well, he certainly does. He drops the barrel of the bat right down on the ball, hits it pretty hard to Belcaster. Now, here's a mistake Belcaster made. Belcaster did not come and get the baseball. He sat back, looked like an easy play. He didn't center it into his chest. He played it off to the side, and that's a play that Belcaster liked to have back because he is usually a very sure-handed middle infielder.
Now we go back up to the top of the order with a very dangerous center fielder, Jake Ring. Scored 50 runs this year. 50 runs. 447, 46 hits, 8 doubles. This kid is a stud in every sense of the word. He takes ball 2 inside.
Jake comes from good bloodlines. His father, Mark, played at Grant, holds numerous school records there, so they've been around the Fox Lake community for a long time. And Dad set the table, and Jake's got to now kind of clean it up.
Swings at a 2-0 here, and not real happy with himself. Didn't get a real good cut at a 2-0 pitch. Fastball out over the plate.
It's amazing to me through the years, all the baseball I watch, whenever I hear of the dad coached or dad played, a big percent of the time you see the guy hitting from the left side of the plate. Dad puts the bat in the left-handed side of the plate real early on in his son's lifetime.
A double play possibility here. To second for 1, over to first, safe. Ring runs really well, and Belcaster's throw not there in time. It started with Shinsako flipping to Belcaster, made a pretty quick turn, but Ring's just way too fast.
Shinsako gave Belcaster the ball in plenty of time. Belcaster would have liked, I believe, to have a little bit more momentum. See him catching the ball right there. A little bit more momentum coming into the throw. He caught that ball on his back foot a little bit and did not have as much giddy up as he needed to turn that double play, but Oak Park in business, getting the sure fundamental out.
Here's Tino Torres now. It's from the right side. Designated hitter, 291 hitter, and he takes ball 1. Coach, do you like to step on the bag, or do you like to coach step on the bag, take a step back toward right, or catch, cross the bag, and throw across your body?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I like to teach all 3 because it depends on where the throw is being fed from. In a perfect situation like that, I think you should come across the base, step back inside because he had plenty of time.
Yep.
But you do need to teach the footwork of all 3 because of where the throw is delivered from and the angle the throw is delivered from.
Pitch outside, 2-1, plus Belcaster not real big out there. And most second basemen don't have great arms, so the more momentum, the better.
Exactly. Everything you do, you have to have momentum going into the play. Belcaster playing the state semifinal today, playing for a trophy tomorrow, and Sunday he'll give the commencement address at Oak Park's graduation ceremony. How about that? The senior's going to Yale. The valedictorian of his class is the second baseman for Oak Park River Forest. There he is. Great picture of him. Commencement address. So you know what? He's going to be talking in front of, 5,000 or whatever. It won't bother him one bit.
Well, the graduating class has to be about 800 kids strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Number one right there, folks. Number one in a class of somewhere around 800 because the school has almost 3,200 kids in it.
What an outstanding achievement academically. And to have the Axiom student athlete in front of that is just a credit to his family, his school, and anybody associated with that young man.
There's a pitch that's fouled back to the screen. Almost gives you chills. It really does. I mean, as a parent myself, you're proud of your kids when they do something great athletically or do something great in the community. But that there takes the cake. Number one, going to Yale, I mean, that's every parent's dream.
Exactly.
There goes a ring. That'll be a stolen base, but it won't matter because Torres takes a beautiful curveball right down the middle for strike three. No harm done once again. McCune and the Huskies in command after three. They lead 3-0.
Done.
You're looking at Silver Cross Field, east side of Joliet. Joliet Central off to your far right. And the Joliet Fire Department off to the left over that blue awning you see.
Looks like the Florida commercial. Hey, there's clouds in the sky. There's like one puffy cloud.
That's it.
At Silver Cross Field. What a glorious sunshine day.
Absolutely. 8-9-1 due up here for Oak Park. McCune, Belcaster, and then Weigel at the top of the order. One strike to count already here on McCune. It's his curveball fouled on the right field line. And talking about Silver Cross Field, it's celebrating over a decade in use as a new organization. Joliet Slammers took over. Al Arimas is the owner. Bill Walewski is the president of the team, and they're in their second year in the Frontier League. Last year they won the Frontier League championship. And this year they're sitting in third place in the West Division. They're on the road tonight in London, Ohio, not London, England. A good organization, great, and you can tell by the way the field is being kept up now. The stands are taking a very good care of it. This field is in good hands for many years to come. And the infield here, as we look at it right here from our view, Roger Bossard, the godfather of Sod, the Sodfather, they were having some trouble with the field earlier this year. He came down, as there's a ground ball hit to the second baseman, bobbled by the second baseman, and that will be an error.
E4.
That'll be E4. E4 on the second baseman, Jacob Adams. So the pitcher, McCune, is now 1 for 4 on the year as he can't get a break from the official score on that one. But anyway, Bossard came down and Slammers put about $30,000 worth into a new field here. So it was just fine in time for opening day and for the baseball tournament.
Very interesting that the playing surface is so fine. He talked about Roger Bossard. We had talked about the fact that he came in 10 years ago and laid at Nazareth Academy's field for them.
Sure.
His son's now going to be a freshman at Nazareth Academy. So, you have Roger Bossard. When you can get him to come to your facility, some magical things happen to the turf.
Here's Belcaster now, the young man we talked about last inning.
He'll be bunting right here, no doubt. Infield starting to creep up.
Bunted in the air. This will be caught by the pitcher, but smart base running move over there by McCune. Or is that actually a pinch runner for him? I think that's a pinch runner for him. 11 is running. That is Pat Clifford for Oak Park. So good job by Clifford coming off the bench and realizing on a popped-up bunt, you better get back to first and not get doubled up.
Yeah, lack of execution right there by Oak Park. That is not indicative of their program. As Belcaster, we knew he was going to bunt. The corners knew he was going to bunt. His focus needs to be to get a ball down and get the top half of the baseball. He got the bottom half. Ball went up, and he was not able to advance the runner.
Weigel in there now, the leadoff hitter. He takes ball one. There was a lot of talk last year about putting artificial turf into Silver Cross Field here. They wanted to use it for a multi-purpose facility for soccer and for football. That didn't happen, and don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Because there's about 2 million reasons why it's not going to happen. They would have to change some things around to fit a football field in, and
A little bit of money, huh? 2 million reasons.
Yeah, and they were talking about, did you want a mound, a portable mound that you would roll out? I know it works in some areas, but Joliet's a baseball purist town. It always has been, and people on the city council and school board said, you know what? Baseball's meant to be played on grass. So I think one day you will see artificial turf here. I think it only makes sense. I'm a purist, though, too.
Yeah, so am I. Give me the green grass.
There's a strike. 3-1 the count now.
I've had a chance to be at some multi-purpose facilities and walk on them with some other broadcasting endeavors, and the most notable one was in Toronto a couple of years ago when you try to put a football field on a baseball field, all the seams and the lips and the cuts, that's why you get so many injuries. And you're right, the purity of the game is definitely out of there when you try to do that. Now, the old-time baseball football where they put the football field right in the middle of dirt, I used to like that. Get the mud in the face and those kind of things. But you're right. Joliet's a great baseball town, a great football town, by the way. But this is a great venue right here, Silver Cross.
Yeah, Joliet Central, just to our right behind the school, they just put a new artificial turf football field in, so really no reason for them to need to use this facility. Weigel walked on 5 pitches. Here's Picciotti now as the pitcher, Helmick, in trouble again. Big time. Picciotti in there, hitting from the left side, 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and a run scored. This inning will pretty much tell us where this one's going to end up. Oak Park's in control, but Grant is still within reach unless Oak Park put another run or 2 on the board here.
Picciotti putting up some PlayStation-type numbers, 38 RBIs, 30 run scores, 68 runs accounted for. Those are video game kind of numbers.
2 on, 1 out. There's a shot to the second baseman. Nice play over there by Adams. From his hind end will throw out Picciotti at first base. That's 4 outstanding highlight reel plays here today by Grant.
Adams lays out for the ball. You see him dusting himself off. This ball's hit pretty hard by Picciotti. What knew? He went down and got a fastball away, turned his hands over, and you see Adams doing a great job, able to get his elbow up, point his lead shoulder, make that throw right from the gluteus maximus.
That's a tough throw to make. Here's Kowalczak now, takes a big cut and fouls it back to the screen for strike 1. A base hit here will give Joe McCune all kinds of breathing room. 3-0, top of the 4th. There's a shot in left field. That is a base hit. Pinch runner's going to score. Being waved around. Catcher comes up the line, throws down to second. They'll get him there. However, Kowalczak, RBIs number 35 and 36 on the year. And the Huskies taking a hold of this game by the throat. After 3.5, it's Oak Park 3, Grant nothing. Five nothing. The Huskies feeling pretty good about themselves.
Well, they should be. They've played solid baseball. They've hit with 2 outs. They've moved runners along. They've played solid defense. And obviously that man on the bump that you'll see in just a minute has been superlative, mixing pitches, hitting spots. There's a great picture of the guy that has been the difference in this game for Oak Park thus far on the hill.
And he will face 3, 4, and 5. Helmick, Spoor, and Lucas. And McCune hasn't been overpowering. He has just 2 strikeouts. But it's all about location. It's all about keeping people off balance. And he has done that. Plus, it helps every once in a while hit 85 on the gun.
Great pitchers don't beat themselves. You'll never see a Cy Young Award winner. You'll never see a high school pitcher be the player of the year, what have you, when he walks 3, 4, 5 again in 6 or 7 innings. When you don't beat yourself, and especially if you're not a power pitcher, you have to stay within your limitations, move the ball around, and then you have to have full confidence in your defensive unit.
Well, unlike what we were talking about, McCune goes out and walks Helmick on 4 pitches. That's the first walk he's given up so far here today.
So not on cue. That would be the only thing. I will tell our pitchers at times, anything but. And just a reminder that, go ahead, attack the barrel of the bat. If they get a double, they get a double. If they get a triple, they get a triple. But anything but. The only time that you give people life, quite honestly, is when you give them free passes. And that's at any level of this game.
Luke Lostrasio is running at first base. He's the courtesy runner for the pitcher, Helmick. Spore now is there's a big conversation out on the mound. Head coach of Oak Park is Chris Ledbetter. Chris Ledbetter has been there for 12 years now, 337 wins. He's finished second twice in 2001, winning 31 games, winning 29 games in 2008. And anytime you talk about Oak Park River Forest, you've got to talk about Jack Kaiser.
Jack Kaiser's a legend. There's no other way to put it. Jack Kaiser won a plethora of games. I don't have it in front of me, but you know what? You talk high school baseball. I have a fungo bat with Jack Kaiser's name on it from an all-star game, and that's how much of a legend he is that he was in the state of Illinois.
All 5 pitches McCune has thrown here in the 4th inning have missed. 4 straight to Helmick. Now the first pitch to Spore is outside. Kaiser won a state championship, finished 3rd 3 times. But his name is synonymous with high school baseball in the state of Illinois, a Hall of Famer in every sense of the word. There's a shot to left. McCormick will move over. That ball didn't carry quite as much as it looked like it was going to off the bat. And an easy out there. Spore flies out to McCormick for out number 1.
Somewhat surprised Spore got the green light after the base on balls and the 1-0 count. Their team playing catch-up. Grant, you think they might have tried to work the count and seen if they could get McCune a little bit more jail. But the pitching coach, Tim Dennehy, who had gone out to try to settle down his pitcher, maybe did just that and said, go ahead and attack the barrel. Don't try to be too fine.
Lucas Simon hits one into the gap. McCormick running. He will not get there. The ball falls between. It goes to the warning track. Now the runner at first, Los Terrastrio, had to hold up, but now they're going to wave him around, and he's going to score. Grant's on the board. An RBI double for Simeon Lucas, the sophomore, RBI number 31 on the season. How about that? And Lostrasio had to wait. He thought maybe that ball was going to get caught, but boy, he cranked it up once he rounded second.
Yes, he did, and a nice drive into the gap by Lucas. See him load his hands to the backside, and his hands started to come forward right as the front foot hit, locked out his lead leg, which acted like a brake to maintain the power and velocity through the hitting zone. He's able to drive that ball into the gap, get it down, and get the run around.
Good camera work. We didn't see it from up here, but Weigel bobbled that ball. That allowed the runner to round third and score. Good aggressive third base coaching there by Dave Beam, the head coach of Grant High School from Fox Lake. So they're on the board. It's 5-1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Runner in scoring position. That's Ryan Mason now, who's the courtesy runner for Simeon Lucas. Tyler Gorski will line this one to left. McCormick says, I'm a busy man this inning. Couple of steps to his left, makes the grab 2 away.
We talked about Tim Dennehy, his visit to the mound. He played for Coach Ledbetter at Oak Park River Forest, and his mentor, now he's an assistant coach for him, in charge of pitchers. But Chris said he has control of the pitchers, but I have control of pitch selection. So he said, I don't trust him quite with that yet. I'm going to help him develop. But that's what a good mentor does, is bring somebody along. And if you're a good head coach, part of your responsibility is to get someone, the next person in line, ready to be a head coach, whether it be at your program or somewhere else. You know you're a good coach if your guys move on.
Jacob Adams will hit from the right side. 0 for 1 today. The ground out to short. Mason's out there at second. Grant could use a big base hit here. Adams has had some success this year. 263 with 16 knocked in. McCune seems to really be bearing down now. Fastball over the outside corner at 86, his fastest pitch of the day. I think he's a little ticked off. He's like, I'm getting beat up a little bit here in the 4th. Let's shut the door right now.
He moved that one to the outer edge. He can go 6 inches outside right now. He'll get a swinging strike.
There's a shot. Center fielder Weigel waiting for it. Had him played perfectly. That's good scouting by the Huskies. They knew exactly where Adams was going to hit that fastball. Bulldogs get a run. Still trail by 4. We're through 4. It's Oak Park River Forest 5, Grant 1. Chris Ledbetter at Oak Park, 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Grant, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors. On to the top of the 5th we go. It'll be Rice, Brennan, and McCormick due up for Mr. Ledbetter and the Huskies in his 12th year. It's one of those programs, once you get a job there, you keep it as long as you can.
Well, Chris coached at Bradley Bourbonnais, took his team to the state finals, and also at Prairie Ridge. But you're right, he'll be at Oak Park now for the duration. 12 years, 24 wins or more every single season. That is the epitome of consistency.
Kuziak at short will field this ground ball from Rice cleanly. One away here in the top of the fifth. And speaking of coaches, sad to see that Joe Rodriguero, another Hall of Famer, decided yesterday he's going to retire from coaching. He was at Lamont High School the last handful of years. Spent some years at Providence, won a state championship back in 1994 with Joliet Catholic. Has a handful of years left to teach before he can retire, but said, you know what, that's all, I'm done with baseball. And that was a big surprise. I know Coach Rod very, very well. He does some work for us on WJOL radio here in Joliet, does some football broadcasting, and that came completely out of nowhere.
Joe's a good man, a good baseball man, and a good ambassador for the game. Yeah. And maybe a little time to just relax in the springtime.
A good broadcaster, too. He may want your job one day.
Yeah, okay. I'll fight him for that one.
I know you will. Not as good as you, though.
But, no, Joe's a good man. I know I've heard his work, and he's solid at everything that he approaches, no doubt.
Good person. 2-0 the count on Mike Brennan. Actually, that was 3-0, now 4-0. My apologies. It's a different day and age now, isn't it? In coaching, well, you know better than anyone.
Yeah, you know, I've seen a lot of changes. You know, I've coached 64 seasons now, 32 in basketball, 32 in baseball. Been a head coach of both sports, and now not a head coach of either sport because of the time commitment and summers and 25 dates and falls and weightliftings, and it can wear on you. And here's the best analogy I can make, Scott, about high school coaches. Here's the difference. A high school coach, the evolution of a high school coach from when I started 32 years ago is
McCormick yanks this ball down the line, left field over the head of Noda and to the wall. Brennan's on his horse. They'll hold him up there at third. A one-out double for Matt McCormick, and the Huskies in business again here in the fifth inning.
They've only been retired in order once, and they have put pressure on pressure on pressure on this Fox Lake Grant team. Ball in the inner half there. The McCormick is whacked down the left field line.
Here's Sam Beard now, the sophomore. Another look at that hanging curveball.
Kept his front side closed and stayed back long enough to be able to keep it in play down the left field line. But my thought process was, high school coaches, you know, back in the old days, you couldn't even have summer contact. You couldn't have fall contact. Kids played 3 sports. Now, most schools expect you to be a college coach with a high school stipend. And you don't do it for the money. But what I mean by that is, even a college coach, he doesn't teach all day. He's working on football, basketball, baseball, whatever, all day long. A high school person is a teacher first in the classroom until 3 o'clock, and then you're supposed to run a collegiate level program the rest of the time for a $7,000 or $8,000 stipend. So the expectations, they grow and grow and grow.
Time away from the family.
Yep.
Time away from your life. It's difficult. There's Beard hitting the ball foul. You mentioned long hours, 365 days a year. One thing you didn't mention, parents, who become increasingly more difficult to deal with.
Well, parents have become that way. Parents love their sons. That's why I tell our players, I said, you know what? Your mom loves you. Your dad loves you. That's why they care about these kind of things. But with all the money with club and AAU and travel and all of those things, parents are trying to give their son or daughter an opportunity. But with that, when they spend money, there becomes an expectation. But you know what? If I spend money and you spend money and 20 other people take private lessons, you know, there's no one gaining an advantage.
Swing and a miss by Beard. A good breaking ball at 69 miles an hour. Nice pitch from Jared Helmick. You set expectations. You needed to add the word unrealistic expectations.
Well, you know what? There is. And, you know, when you talked about, you know, the Jack Belcaster going to Yale.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Not many of these guys are going to be playing at Wrigley Field or the Cell, what have you. But the joy of the game should be something young men, young women should enjoy. And the academic abilities and the ability to get ready for life afterwards is what's so important. So then when you have like a Tim Dennehy that comes back and plays, you know, at Oak Park, that's the kind of experience he had, that he gets his education and comes back and wants to make an impact,
sure,
you know, with his head coach. That's what education should be all about. We have a pinch hitter in the 8-hole.
Yeah, it's Charlie Fensick. He'll be batting, hitting .333. 16 hits on the year, 11 knocked in. So Fensick will bat for McCune. Five to 1 the score. Oak Park on top. 2 on, 2 outs. Hit away from blowing this one open is Fensick.
And for our viewers and listeners not familiar with high school baseball, if you're watching around the web, McCune will indeed re-enter. There's a re-entry rule in high school baseball, so the pinch hitter will be in, and then the pitcher will be right back on the hill next inning.
Helmick is not used to giving up runs. The pitcher for Grant, 11-1 this year with an ERA of under 1. But you have to wonder how tired he is. He threw Monday of this week.
Yes, he did.
That's only 3 days rest.
It's been a labor.
Fastball upstairs, a little bit outside as well, 1-2.
Yeah, we talked about he won a regional game, a sectional game, a super sectional game just 3 days ago. So the wear and tear on that young man's arm is, you know, piling up right now.
Adams backhands it, bobbles, no play. 6-1. The Huskies pulling away. That's a base hit.
Nice job by Fensick coming in, getting the infield hit. Going well to his backhand side was Adams. The good news is he knocked it down and saved the second run from scoring, at least for now. Could not finish the deal and keep the first run from scoring. See the backhand side, he knocked the ball down, goes to his bare hand, which is a smart thing to do, not the glove hand. But then discretion was positive. He decided not to risk the throw. He knew he had no play on Fensick going down the line with the pinch hit.
Brennan scores. Runner at third now is McCormick. He's there with 2 outs at first. It's Fensick. That RBI infield hit. Here's Belcaster now, the second baseman. As you saw, chokes up on that bat by 1.5 inches or so. He's going to bunt. Right back to the pitcher, fielded cleanly by Helmick, over to first. And that's it. But insurance here for Oak Park. They get a run in the 5th, and after 4.5, they lead in the Class 4A state semifinals by a score of 6-1 over Grant. Little fun in the sun. It's even nicer when your team's leading by 5 runs. Need just 9 outs to move on to a state championship. Oak Park fans very happy to see their team on top. Very happy to see Joe McCune continue on the mound, entering his 5th inning of work, going for what would be his 7th win of the year, and he'll face 8-9-1. The freshman, Kuziak, sends a ball out to center field. Weigel squeezes. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, I know we mentioned it earlier, but Oak Park graduation not until Sunday. That seems a little bit later than most schools.
Yeah, it does.
Seems like there's been many schools out, 10 days, 2 weeks already. So the calendar is ever changing. But Oak Park just finished up this week. Obviously, they're lower level, they're underclass with final exams.
Yeah, summer baseball's about ready to start up, for crying out loud.
Monday.
Better hurry up and graduate.
Yeah, Monday after the state tournament, first game of Summer League Baseball. Obviously, travel teams, we just mentioned those, Legion teams, high school teams, all get going. A lot of baseball being played from coast to coast.
Ryan Noda, 1-1 the count on the sophomore left fielder, hitting .353 with 30 hits. And this is first season on the varsity. He's got a bright future. This pitch is hit in the air out towards shallow left field. Shinsako will give way to McCormick, the left fielder, who calls him off 2 away.
Now that was good communication. Brennan, the third baseman, chased it. He knew he didn't have an angle. Shinsako stayed with it, and he probably could have made that play, but much easier for McCormick to come in, call him off, communication in the triangle right there, and the left fielder makes it an easy play.
Well, there you saw communication, too, between McCormick and Weigel, the center fielder. McCormick went to the top of his hat and patted it. He saw that Ring was coming up, their best hitter, And he knows exactly where the coaches want him to play, to hit the ball the opposite way, so he's standing down the line.
Well, baseball's all about communication. And everybody thinks it's an individual game, but you have to have all those individuals moving parts in sync as one, almost like an offensive line in football. An offensive line, everybody's got their own individual assignment, but you only open a hole for your running back if everyone's assignment is in sync. You see the big gap in right center. A great picture of that. A lot of room for Ring to run, but first he's got to get it there.
Well, Ring looking for his first hit of the day, lined out to left, reached on a fielder's choice. Willing to bet there's only been a handful of games this year where he hasn't hit safely. He's ahead in the count here, though, 3-1. He'll take a walk. Base runners are needed here for Grant. They're down by 5 here in the bottom of the 5th.
Now, normally if you're going to pitch him away, you're going to play him away. Right now they're playing him away, so you'd pitch him away. However, with 3-run right now, McCune's got one thing, and that's to center cut this ball and go ahead and challenge Ring.
Missed upstairs.
So that's one that got away.
Second walk given up by McCune. His last one was given up last inning, so he went the first 3 without walking anyone. Walked one in the 4th and has walked one here in the 5th. That's a 2-out, bases empty walk. Here's Tino Torres now. Torres is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout.
18 walks on the season now in 49 innings pitched for McCune. So solid numbers, not great. Again, he's only struck out 47 men coming into this game. He won't overpower you, but he's always around the dish.
Missed upstairs that time. Talked about McCune. He's one of Oak Park's best golfers. He was the Huskies' number 3 scorer in the state meet, tied for 79th as an individual. Shot an 85 in his final round as a high school golfer. Weigel, their stud pitcher, if Oak Park was to hang on here, he'll come back and pitch tomorrow. Zach Weigel is available today in a relief role if needed. Threw 103 pitches against Highland Park on Monday. There's a fastball in there for a strike.
103, very manageable on 3 days rest. But obviously his normal 4 days rest tomorrow, he'll be ready to light it up.
You're in good shape if you have your ace sitting back tomorrow. You know, we'll see Lions and Manuka play next. Manuka will go with their ace, Jimenez, but there's number 2 pitcher, Ruff, threw a perfect game against O'Fallon in the sectional final last week. There's a shot to right field. Rice moving over, makes the catch, and that's it. So we got all kinds of arms available here in Joliet at the state tournament. We've played 5, Oak Park 6, Grant 1. This is the 4A state semifinals on the IHSA network. We're back here in Joliet, Silvercross Field. Well, somebody from Oak Park must be colorblind. Husky Pride, all in purple.
A little bit strange.
Looks good, though.
Navy blue and orange is Oak Park Forest colors.
It's any purple, but there's someone wearing a purple shirt. There's some Grant fans with a Green Bay Packer G, or Georgia G, I guess, because it's the same colors, as the Georgia Bulldogs. Top of the 6th inning. Huskies will send up the top of their order here. Swing and a miss. Ball and a strike. And Zach Weigel will be followed by Picciotti and Kowalczyk. There's a curveball outside. 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Oak Park. Well, they've played a solid game. This is a good team, well balanced, not flashy. They just get it done. Grant, 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 errors. It's a curveball hit high in the air towards center. Ring will drift back and make the catch for out number 1. Boy, Ring is a good-looking athlete out there.
Well, there's no doubt. He just glides to the baseball, gets off the sound of the bat. Very solid defensive outfield that Grant possesses. Pretty good speed in the outfield. And
something to be said for smooth, isn't there? And he is smooth.
Yes, there is. Those are things you can't teach, but when you get off the baseball like that, you can see that there's been literally hundreds and literally thousands of repetitions.
One hopper to the first baseman, Spoor bobbled it, but was able to win the race against Picciotti, and very good idea just how quick Picciotti is. That ball was hit out there on one hop, and he gave Spoor a run for his money to get to first base.
Grant working on a 9-game winning streak. They come in 25-11, so that 9-game winning streak really, catapulted of what was going to be just a, better than average season into a magical season they're having.
Quick inning for Helmick and the Bulldogs. Top of the order for Oak Park goes in order. Weigel, Picciotti, and Kowalczyk all retired. Bottom of the 6th is where we head. Grant down by 5. They're the Grant Bulldog fans who, you hate to say this because it's cliche for an underdog team, just happy to be here. It's a team that wasn't expecting to do a lot, a team that last year went 10-21. Here they are a year later. They're going to trophy. They're battling Oak Park River Forest. There's a line shot right up the middle by the pitcher, Jared Helmick. So a leadoff single here in the 6th. Grant needs a bunch of runs, and they need them right now. Grant's baseball team spent the early part of the season struggling in the lightly regarded Prairie Division of the North Suburban Conference. They went 5-5 against teams not named North Chicago in the league. And just like that, they got hot. And in the postseason, they knocked off Fox Valley Conference teams, Cary Grove, McHenry, Crystal Lake South, the first 3 games. After that, a 1-run win over South Elgin. Then they beat Schaumburg 7-0. And now they're here in Joliet. That's what happens in baseball. You get hot at the right time. Things can happen that no one saw coming. Strike one to Brent Spoor, the right-handed hitting first baseman.
And their hitting approach, especially the last 3 weeks, is take what we're given, be patient, get your pitch. So that will be the formula they'll try to use to try to come back right now and put McCune in a little bit of jeopardy, and at least try to get him out of the ball game and get into the Oak Park bullpen.
It's interesting. The last 7 balls hit have all been hit to the outfield. Going back to Spoor, who flew out to left, and then a double. Actually, the double's the last 8. A double by Simeon, fly out by Gorski, line out by Adams. There's a shot to the outfield as well. This one is going to be caught. Weigel streaking to his right in the gap makes the catch for out number 1. And so add that to the list.
Yeah, that ball was squared up too. Spoor hit that right on the screws, but Weigel just flat out ran it down, made a pretty hard hit ball that was sinking fast, made it look like a pretty easy catch, and we were singing the praise of Grant's defensive outfield. Rack it up the same thing for the Huskies. When you have a state tournament team, you have to have speed on the defensive side as well as base running.
The infield has not, get this, we're in the 6th, right? The infield has not made a putout since the 3rd inning when they got a forced play at second base.
That's amazing.
I don't know if I've seen that before.
That's amazing.
My old buddy Don Lattis, a Hall of Famer who worked at WJL Radio for 50 years, was always asked, how can you keep coming to the ballpark after 55 years? He goes, because you always see something you've never seen before in the game of baseball.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think last weekend we had the privilege of doing the 1A and 2A tournament, and I am not kidding. I'm going to miss some. We saw hit by pitch, we saw stolen bases, we saw squeeze, we saw drags, we saw balks, we saw catcher's interference, we saw steal of home, we saw it all.
There's McCune, the sophomore, lining one back up the middle, and my guess is the Oak Park bullpen's going to get busy because Grant is starting to tee off here on Joe McCune. 2 on, 1 out here, and that'll bring up Tyler Gorski, 307 hitter, third baseman for Grant. 26 knocked in, and time is called. And now we do get activity in the bullpen.
Yeah, Lucas is a nice-looking young hitter. They like him on the mound as well. His coach Dave Beam said he's too good a catcher to get him on the hill consistently. He can pitch in the mid-80s. And here's something about what that young catcher has done. Going into today, in the 5 games of the state tournament, no one had stolen a base, meaning pitcher and catcher. The catcher, of course, being Lucas, but the pitcher's got to do their job. And Lucas had thrown out 2 runners. So you know, Scott, as well as I, that high school baseball, a lot of times it's very difficult to throw out would-be base stealers, and it's an almost at certain points an automatic double. 0 stolen bases against Grant coming into today's game.
Left-hander Max Gazzetta in the bullpen for Oak Park down the right field line. Well, Gazzetta is warming up. He's a senior with a 3-1 record, a 2.53 ERA, but they want McCune to finish things off. Here's Gorski now with 2 on and 1 out, 6-1. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Gorski today 0 for 2, lined out to right, flew out to left. Fastball upstairs. And you saw McCune rear back. He's in the low 80s now as opposed to earlier in the game when he was in the mid 80s. 86 is what he topped off at. That one was 81. Here's the 1-1. Beautiful curveball that froze the Grant third baseman. Strike 2.
Jack Picchiotti looking over to Chris Ledbetter. Coach Ledbetter leaning over the railing of the dugout. That chart in his hands. He is giving signs to Picchiotti.
Another curveball. This one hit on the ground is short. Shinsako goes to second for 1, over to first, not in time. Belcaster didn't think he was going to have a shot, but once he got the force, he's like, oh, I still can get Gorski. But then the throw was too late and pulled the first baseman off the bag.
Well, once again, they get the sure out, which in any situation is what you want to do, but especially with a 5-run situation, don't hurry the play. No need to gun anybody down. No need to make a big play, but you're trading out for a runner right there.
There's Jacob Adams. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a line out. Takes a curveball in the dirt. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Oak Park up by 5 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The winner plays tomorrow at 5 o'clock here in Joliet for the state championship Class 4A. Will it be Lions defending against one of these two teams, or will it be Minooka? We'll find out. They play next in the semis. Check swing. He did not go. Ball 2. And this tournament is as wide open as any 4A tournament has ever been. Though you might give a little bit of an advantage to Oak Park because their ace, Zach Weigel, if they win this one, will pitch tomorrow. I don't know how many aces are going to be going tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be interesting to watch how this whole thing unfolds and how coaches have their pitching staff set up. You know, in a perfect world, you have things set up the way you want, but you got to get here first.
Yep. 3-0 the count. Adams ready. There's a strike. I learned that lesson when I was in high school and I was coaching a 12-year-old team. I saved my ace for round number 2 of the playoffs. Guess what, Coach? We didn't get.
He didn't get there, huh?
To the playoffs, round number 2. There's a ball hit in the air to right. Rice will have to battle the sun. Not much of a battle at all. He made it look easy. And that's it. So Grant put up a little fight there in the bottom of the 6th, but didn't score. We've played 6. It's Oak Park River Forest 6. Fox Lake Grant 1. This is high school baseball on the IHSA network. On to the 7th we go, the Class 4A semifinals, Oak Park River Forest and Grant. Next up here on the IHSA network, Minooka versus Lions from LaGrange. The defending 4A state champs beat Providence last year in a classic. Due up here for Oak Park in the top of the 7th inning will be their 4, 5, 6 hitters, Rice, Brennan, and McCormick. And well, you can tell we're getting close to game time, game number 2, because this stadium has filled up, especially down the third base line where Minooka will pack in probably over 11 or 1,200 fans themselves here. They're just about 15 miles away west on I-80 here. Look at that. Looks like a major league crowd, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks good. Kind of a quiet crowd here today. But in this game, the Huskies of Oak Park have had things well in hand.
Yeah, they came out, threw a couple of punches in that first inning, Coach Lindo, and that's been it. 3-1 the count on Rice. It's 1 for 3. There's ball 4.
Good pitching, timely hitting. The baseball axiom, pitching, defense, timely hitting, has played out well thus far.
Here's Mike Brennan. Mike's 0 for 2 with a walk, scored a run. They get a courtesy runner down to first base. That'll be Pat Clifford, number 11 there for Oak Park. It's a thrill for these young men to get a chance to play on this ballpark. $27 million what it cost to build this facility. Back about 10, 12 years ago, $10 million to acquire the land, put $17 million into the fiscal plant here at Silver Cross Field. And do you notice one thing that's missing from the last couple of years here this year?
Oh, my goodness. I've been to this ballpark for years myself, and now you're putting me on the spot with that one. Let's see. What do we got in center field? Is that the green background? Has it always been just that way?
Pretty much so, yeah.
Okay.
That's not the change. There's a swing and a miss. Runner goes. The throw down to second. Not in time. A stolen base for the pinch runner, Pat Clifford.
That on the 95th pitch from Helmick. So you got me. What part of the ballpark am I looking?
Over, see where the Babe's Jumbo Hot Dog sign is? Over that, next to the party deck out there. There was that big giant...
Oh, the inflatable?
Jackhammer guy. Remember the big jackhammer guy?
Oh,
they changed the name. They got rid of the jackhammer.
That's right.
I was hoping they'd get rid of that because that's something you see on Route 66 down in central Illinois or central Missouri. And the new owners didn't like it, so they removed it. And it's gone. And just over the center field wall is a wonderful field. We get a shot of that later on. The Miracle League of Joliet plays back there. A field for kids that are dealing with physical disabilities. There's a yank foul and deep down the left field line. Would have been a home run by Brennan, but it's foul.
And the kids will be out there tomorrow. Isn't Saturday the day that they play on the Miracle Field?
It is. Kids that come out there, they're in wheelchairs, walkers. They have little helpers, little angels as they call them. It's a wonderful,
awesome.
Wonderful field. It's rubberized. It's the gem of Joliet. There's a curveball upstairs to Brennan. 2-2.
What a great thing that Joliet does for those special needs kids. And we were out there last night.
There it is.
Yeah, there's a good picture. Had the picnic last night. All 8 teams came in. IHSA did a hot dog, hamburger, ballpark food. All the coaches spoke, went through rules, coin flips, ground, and just a chance to see all the kids in awe of what they were going to be experiencing the next 2 days was just neat for me to be around last night.
Ground ball into right, base hit. They're going to wave Clifford in. He will score 7-1. Oak Park putting the hammer down now in complete control here against Grant in the 4A semis. RBI for Brennan. First hit of the day for him. That's a nice little tradition the IHSA started when they came to Joliet here, having that little picnic. I know my compadre, Steve Brandy from WJOL, comes and does the interviews, and that's been something that's been kind of nice for the kids as well.
Yeah, the kids had a great time. The picnic tables were filled, and I think the IHSA did just a tremendous job bringing those people together. The kids started shaking hands and meeting each other, and introductions were made, and a well-run event last night by Craig Anderson from the IHSA with the help of this Joliet community. So it's just great for the community of Peoria to host the tournament last week, for Joliet to host it this week, and we mentioned the thrill that kids get when they get to this level.
You said, though, that, and that's going to be it for Helmick. He's being lifted. New pitcher's going to come on. You said you like the media facility a little bit better in Peoria. This is a little bit too tight up here for you, huh?
Peoria's media facility is a broadcast booth, much more spacious. Great vantage point here. Working situation as far as space, not so much.
Oh, we're not big guys. We fit in here okay. I'm going to get a little... Now, it's funny because Peoria is where I grew up, actually across the river in East Peoria, so I have a little... loyalty there, but here as well. New pitcher in the ballgame for Grant will be number 23, Zach Niedrich. Zach is a 5'8", 165-pound senior appearing in his 15th game. 1-3 on the year, 3.27 ERA, 21 strikeouts and 40 innings of work. And he will come on and try to hold Oak Park where they're at. Give his team a chance in the bottom of the 7th, though it's a long shot at best as they're down by 6. They'll face McCormick. Again, looking up and down this Oak Park River Forest lineup, it's solid. I mean, you got the studs and Picchiotti up there and Rice, outstanding young man. As you look at Helmick there, is not at all happy with his performance. But, hey, he led this team here, put them on their back pitching-wise. There's nothing for him to be ashamed about. He'll end his career with 11-2 mark here as a senior and an ERA a little bit over 1.
And that's what high school sports is all about right there. Is Helmut a little bit down on himself, but his teammates recognizing exactly what you just said, that, we rode this guy for an awful long way, and you see Ryan Noda come over to give him some knuckles, a little bit of love, and these guys, they'll remember each other years and years and years from now. They'll remember this experience years and years from now when people have parted ways, changed communities, what have you.
Especially being the first team in school history to make it this far. It's going to be a big trophy in the trophy case up in Fox Lake Monday morning. They don't have many of those. McCormick will hit now. He's working on a 2-for-3 day. Matt McCormick. The batting average came in at .358, and he's pushing .362, .363 with a couple of hits today in the state semifinals. Niedrich, the right-hander, ready. Curveball bounces in front of the plate. Stopped there by Lucas.
So on his very first pitch, Niedrich throws about a 59-footer and kind of threw his head up in the air like with a little bit of frustration, and he has to have a lot more mound presence to that if he's going to get through this lineup.
Curveball hit down the right field line. The dugout, rather the bullpen, will have to scatter for Oak Park, and Helmick, after pitching 6+ innings, gets a little activity there in the outfield as well, and so did she as she flies down the berm down the right field line and has herself a souvenir.
Gotta love young kids on the berm of minor league ballparks. It's a race to the treasured foul ball.
It was a one-person race there. She's sitting next to the Lions kids who want this game to get over so they can get going. There's another stolen base for Oak Park River Forest here as Niedrich takes a while to get that ball up there to the plate with that off-speed stuff. That was an easy steal that time for Brennan.
Yeah, we talked about the situation that how well Simeon Lucas throws the ball, but when you're a pitcher, it's your job to give your catcher a chance, and you need to get up there in about 1.35, 1.33, 1.3. It would be the best you can do, and that gives your catcher a chance. But if you're 1.4, 1.5, people are going to run the pitcher, not the catcher.
3-1 now. Niedrich struggling here in relief of Helmick. Looks back at the runner. Delivers a fastball. Beautifully placed. Strike 2 over the outside corner. That was a 70-mile-an-hour pitch. There's a shot into center field, base hit. They're going to wave Brennan. Here comes the throw from Ring. It's cut off. 8-1. McCormick, 3 hits on the day. That's RBI number 29.
And solid base running as he read the fly of the ball and scampered into second base on a single.
Well, here now is the sophomore Sam Beard, who struck out twice and tried to bunt his way on earlier and actually popped out to the catcher. This ball bounces into Lucas, who's a little frustrated there behind home plate.
Way back at Grant's schedule, opening day, March 21st, we remember how the temperature was in the 80s, which was unheard of for that time in Illinois baseball. They opened up against a perennial power, Barrington. That score was 17-11, Barrington over Grant. The reason that one just jumped out at me is usually on opening day, you might pitch 2 or 3 guys, but it's your best guys are all in line. And usually it's cold and blustery, but maybe not that day. Wind was probably from the south that time.
Adams throws out Beard, 1 away. As McCormick goes down to third, he's there with 1 out, and that'll bring up, let's see here, who's going to bat again? It'll be Joe McCune back in there hitting for himself.
This was just probably, in my 32 years of coaching, the best weather
it's crazy
for baseball. I mean,
absolutely
you were in shirt sleeves in March. We got some 70-degree days in April. We thought it was cool out.
Yeah, and some 60-degree days early in May. McCune 0 for 2 was pinch hit for by Fensick, who singled in the 5th. McCune will head back out to the mound in the 7th with at least a 7-run lead. It's 8-1 Oak Park. Edrick delivers a fastball in there for a strike. Oh, look at McCune. I tell you what, when I was in high school, I couldn't grow a mustache and a goatee. Couldn't do that till college. And then mine was relatively weak. He's got it going on with the facial hair. There's a chopper, infield drawn in. Going to be a play at the plate. Nice job. Good job by Kuziak, the shortstop. Lucas made the catch after the good throw. Blocked the plate, 2 away.
Nice execution by the Bulldogs. Infield in, as you mentioned, contact play was on for Oak Park. What that means is no matter where that ball was hit, the base runner was going to go on contact, force the defense to make a play. Well executed offensively, well executed defensively. Grant trying to get out with any further damage.
Well, Coach, you got to give them credit. I mean, they're down 8-1, but they had the wherewithal in their minds to be thinking about, okay, what do we need to do here? I mean, they could have easily just, shortstop could have forgot to be back. Coach maybe could have forgot to push him back and should have said, you know what, let the run score. Let's get the sure thing. That was a heads-up play.
No, you're exactly right. Coach Beam really set the tone right there by bringing his infield in because he's telling his team we're still in this.
Yep.
Even though it doesn't feel that way, he was making that statement.
There's a shot down the left field line. That ball is foul. Bounced over the fence. I don't think Coach Ledbetter agrees with that, but he's up by 7. Well, that was awfully close to being a ground rule double by Belcaster. Let's take another look.
Got the barrel through a little bit top hand, couldn't keep it back long enough.
Yes, it was foul. You could see right there. Not by much. Belcaster tries the right side this time, but hits it out of play. Boy, good eyes by the home plate umpire. I don't think I would have seen that.
Well, he did a good job, home plate umpire did, in that particular situation. Vince Cannon getting out, getting angle. He actually ran about 10 steps up the line to try to get as good a view as he possibly could. Good hustle.
And we have a balk here on Niedrich, so they're going to move the courtesy runner, Jake Johnson, over to second base. Did you just say umpires run? Did you just say that?
Yeah, I said the umpire's correct.
Oh, you said he ran 10
yes.
feet up. I'm joking. I have a bunch of umpires that are friends of mine.
I love umpires, right?
Yeah, you better say that. Well, you're bad-mouthing parents today and umpires. You're in trouble, Lindo.
I tell you what, I love umpires. I'm one myself, each and every pitch.
1-2 count. That's called strike 3. Niedrich strikes Belcaster out, and that's it. Oak Park 3 outs away from playing for a state championship. They lead here at Joliet by a count of 8-1 over Grant. That team is 3 outs away from playing for a state championship. It would be the 5th time in school history that Oak Park River Forest would have played in the title game. 1942, they won it under Frank Foster. Jack Kaiser won it all for them in 1981. Finished second with Ledbetter in 2001 and in 2008. So it's a team that has a rich history, and they're 3 outs away. McCune is on the mound, and he opens up the bottom of the 7th with strike 1. It'll be 8-9-1. Kuziak, Noda, and Ring. There's a chopper to third. Easy play for Brennan. 1 away. That's the 90th pitch, by the way.
And you keep pouring in strikes like he has on a consistent basis. Defense making plays. 1 error on the board for Oak Park, along with some very, very solid plays. And that is a recipe for victory, a recipe that will send you into the state finals.
That magic number in high school baseball is usually right around, 30 wins, right?
Yeah.
This will be number 29, and if they win it all tomorrow, they would have won 30 games on the year. If you look at the records of these teams, Oak Park 28-9-1, Grant 25-11, Manuka 27-13, and Lions with a record of 26-12. Has to be the most losses combined, Coach, for 4 teams in the big school class.
Yeah, but you get hot at the right time. Because, for example, Oak Park, they didn't win the West Suburban. York won that. this year. I believe Oak Park was third, but a very solid conference with the likes of York winning that, and Downers and Lions and Oak Park. So you got some quality baseball teams played in that area of the west suburbs.
Well, they'll play in the state championship. Last time they were in a state title game was 2008. They lost to Prairie Ridge 3-2. And Picciotti's older brother, Sam, was a starting infielder as a junior, hit .475 that year, 5 home runs and 37 knocked in. So we got another Picciotti here, going to play for the title tomorrow night.
Yeah, Sam was at Wright State now, and another Picciotti brother.
Strike 3.
Frank at the University of Tampa. So Picciotti and collegiate baseball, big-time baseball, they go hand in hand.
You got any more Picciottis laying around anywhere?
We're going to get them to Naperville if there are.
Coach Ledbetter hopes so. Noda takes a curveball over the outside corner from McCune. Jake Ring represents the final hope for Fox Lake Grant High School. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. There's ball 1 outside. Got to give McCune a lot of credit. He has battled this game. Giving up just 5 hits. Ball 2.
Not flashy, but the compliment is extremely effective. Able to move hitters' eyes, able to change speeds, able to keep hitters off balance, able to put his pitching in the hands of his defense, and they have responded along with 8 runs on 10 hits.
And because of his performance, Zach Weigel, the ace, got another day rest today and will get to pitch tomorrow night in the state championship game. 3-0, strike to Ring. Well, Ring will be back, just a junior. Torres will be back. He's a sophomore. Helmick will be gone. Spohr, the first baseman's a junior. Lucas, the catcher, is a sophomore. Gorski, the third baseman's a junior. Adams at second is a junior. Kuziak, the shortstop's a freshman. Villarreal, their hitter, didn't play today. He's a junior. Noda, the left fielder, he's a sophomore. We could see them back in Joliet next year. There's strike 2.
1 to follow is this Grant team from Fox Lake next year. The experience they have already had is invaluable as they get ready for tomorrow's game and then next year's entire season.
McCune trying to put an exclamation point on this semifinal game. Down in the dirt, he missed it. Thought for sure he would have thrown a fastball there, tried a curveball, but missed it in the dirt.
Yeah, different selection. Instead of saying, go ahead, hit it if you can, and hit it at somebody. 3-2 breaking ball.
That'll bring up Tino Torres. Designated hitter, hitting .291 on the year. Strike 1. And I think McCune said, what was I thinking? Let's go with fastballs here.
Coach Ledbetter out of the dugout, positioning his defense. He's called the pitch, and this one's a fastball.
Missed upstairs, though, 1-1. McCune out there in long sleeves on an 80-degree day here in Joliet. McCune thought he had Ring picked up, but the first baseman was behind the bag. That's a balk, so Ring will take second.
Coach Ledbetter out of the dugout saying, what are we thinking? Basically, what we're dealing with there is you have a 7-run lead. You don't care anything about that runner, and you've already explained that by having your first baseman play behind.
May as well be invisible. Here's the 1-1. That's upstairs, 2-1.
See, even that, watch, we get a picture of McCune as well as we've sang his praises. He's going to look back at this runner a couple times. 1, there's no one holding. 2, he doesn't matter.
There he is.
Again, focus on the plate.
There's a foul ball on the right field line. Again, Grant down to its final strike in their magical season. Well, that team will play tomorrow night at 5 o'clock right back here for a state championship. Curveball fisted to the backstop. A nice job by Torres of staying in there. I would have bailed, been on my back and taken strike 3. That was coming right at him. McCune, the 2-2. Out of play.
Torres up there hacking and slashing, getting his money's worth. Quality at bat till the final out.
There's a shot into left field, base hit. They're going to wave a ring. He will score easily. Ball comes into second, and it's now 8-2. Grant saying, we're not done yet.
Yeah, I'm impressed right there by Tino Torres at bat. Fouled off a couple pitches, took one on the edge, kept his hands back on a breaking ball. You know, you want to be unselfish as an athlete. But in baseball, there are certain times to be selfish, and you cannot waste at bats. So if you want to put up numbers through the course of a season at any level, you got to make every at bat count. You can't have at bats back. So he got himself a base hit, an RBI, and just added to his totals and turn the lineup over, get another at bat for Helmick now.
RBI number 12 on the year for Torres, just a sophomore. Here's Helmick now, and what is more than likely going to be his. Well, he'll play tomorrow, of course, in the field, but possibly if he doesn't, sometimes in third place games, some new kids play. Could be his final at bat at Grant. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Shinsako goes over to Belcaster for the force, and the Huskies are on their way to the state championship. Looking for state title number 3. They'll play tomorrow night at 5 o'clock here at Silver Cross Field. All around good performance by a very solid baseball team.
Two good teams, two teams that made it to the finals from some different paths. Today, Oak Park, River Forest, a complete game, every facet of the game. They deserved it. They'll play for the championship tomorrow. Grant just couldn't get it done offensively today, only 2 runs up on the board. And as you mentioned, they'll take home a trophy. It'll feel better tomorrow.
Grant ends their winning part of their season. Now they'll bounce into the third place consolation bracket tomorrow, play the third place game, 25-12. And Oak Park River Forest goes to 29-9-1 as the two teams show good sportsmanship, changing handshakes right at home plate here at Silver Cross Field. Next game, we got Minooka and Lions. That's going to be a good one. It's a toss-up. This tournament's wide open, Coach.
Should be fun. Got one great one today, 4 great ones tomorrow. A lot of baseball still to be played at Silver Cross.
For Mark Lindo, I'm Scott Slocum. Thanks for watching the 4A State Semifinals on the IHSA Network. Your final score, Oak Park River Forest 8, Grant 2.